Hey, what's up? Kris Krohn here, and today we're talking about real estate for beginners. Literally, if you've wanted to get in the game of real estate, and that's why you're part of this channel, I'm gonna show you right now how to make that happen.
Hey, you Kris Krohn?
I am Kris Krohn.
Can you help me get started in real estate?
I can. Come on inside.
All right.
One shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah. It's one shot, now the future is yours. Go!
Zarko, how we doing, brother? Dude,
you.
you didn't tell me you had such a fun ride. Have a seat. So check it out. Zarko is one of my brand new business partners in the game of real estate. In fact, 3 weeks ago, our partnership got real because we bought our what?
First property.
And how'd that feel?
It's great. The numbers look great, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, it's definitely a dope deal. And how did we meet each other?
I started following you on social media in 2021, and
Okay.
I just kind of like followed you for a while because like the strategies make sense.
Yeah.
But I wanted to get to know you and the person, what's behind it. And I came to one of your events, and that's when I knew, yeah, this is it. And
Well, check it out. This is kind of cool because Zarko, I got partners from all over the world, but you're like kind of here in my backyard. What city do you live in around here?
I live in Cedar Hills, which
Okay.
is 25 minutes north of here.
Wow, my wife and I, once upon a time, we're going to actually live in Cedar Hills. We could have literally been neighbors, but we're basically inside the same county here. And so this is actually kind of cool because most of my partners live different places all over the world, meet me through social media the same way, and they all have an interest in getting into real estate. And my philosophy is real simple. If we partner up, let me take you to the highest starting point so there's no learning curve and we just get to win from the first moment.
All I do is win, no matter what.
So today what I want to do is I want to reinforce with my brand new partner here, Zarko, the 4 reasons why I wanted him to get involved in the game of real estate. But your reasons look a little different than mine. And let's actually start with yours. Like, you've got a great job, you're really good at saving money. Why, after meeting me in 2021 online, did you actually want to form this partnership?
So there's this property that I've had here in Provo for a while, and I've been running it, and I actually don't like to run it. And so when I learned about the business, the 50-50 partnership, I'm like, okay. So I fork out some cash. You do all the work. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Even I still have that property. Even this past Friday, I had to stop by and do a little maintenance on it. I really don't like it. So if Chris's, team is going to do all that for me, sign me up for sure.
I love it. So if you're a little bit new to the game, yes, there is the possibility that you might be watching this from anywhere in the world and thinking, wait, are you telling me that I could actually be Kris Krohn's partner? And would I actually get access to a cell phone? Would I actually be able to connect with him? Would I actually be able to learn and mentor from him? And I'm going to have you share all of that at the end. Let's first talk about why we're winning in the game of real estate. Deal?
Let's do it.
Zarko's got his reasons. My question is, what are yours? I'm going to share with you some of mine. We're talking about real estate creating a whole different perspective on finance, a whole new world of profit. The world of real estate is a very lucrative, high margin game. However, and especially in the beginning, it can be easy to get lost and not understand which deals are gems and which ones will bleed you of capital. And in reality, you only really need to understand 4 specific terms that I'm going to teach you in this video so that you can determine whether a deal is a good deal or not. And already right now, you're probably hearing from Zarko, man, if this property requires time from me, then I'm becoming more and more of a don't wanter. I don't like that game. I don't want to do the work, but I'm actually backing up a little further and I'm saying, wait a second, I got to know if this deal is actually even going to make money. So I'm going to show you the 4 terms real quick that are important to me as far as standards go to make sure that you can learn as a beginner, what should you actually really care about? All right, we're going to start with the first of 4 different things that you need to understand in the game of how you actually deal in very lucrative real estate. And it starts with what's called a net positive cash flow. And here's what it means. It's a mathematical equation. When you own a property and you rent it out, you're going to get rental income. And then you have to subtract the mortgage and all the expenses because, by the way, it's not real estate. It's a business. You have money that flows in, you have money that flows out, and at the end, if you did it right, there's leftover money. There are some people that buy real estate where they buy it and they collect money, and then after they cover all their expenses, they're losing money. So the net on it is a negative cash flow. This is no bueno because the longer you own real estate like that, the more it's gonna bleed you. And so, number 1, if you're gonna do a deal, it's gotta have a positive cash flow. Net cash flow is the amount of cash left over each month after operating expenses have been paid. Operating expenses consist mostly of the mortgage, but it can also include utilities, HOA fees, repairs, and management costs. And a lot of people make this mistake as novices. Well, I bought a property and the rent that I'm getting is more than the mortgage. And I'm like, cool, did you factor in all the other expenses? Because all of a sudden it's like, ooh, my HOA fee is $300 a month. Ooh, I bought an older home and my repairs are like crazy. Ooh, I didn't know that I was gonna have some management costs. Ooh, 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 and you add up enough of those oohs. And then instead of real estate being this great blessing in your life, it ends up being kind of a nightmare. All right, let me share with you the second way to make real estate really lucrative. Zarko, I don't know if this is news to you when we got in the game, but I value this thing called principal reduction. And it basically means that when you buy a home and you're gonna hold it, someone else is living in it. That person is actually producing an ROI for you by actually paying down the mortgage. And over time, here's what it means. Principal reduction is the amount of equity that you build in the property every month from the mortgage payment. Remember, the tenant is slowly paying off your property for you, and though this may only be a few $100s each month, this starts quickly adding up over time. In fact, if you take a look here, in the beginning, the majority of your payment is interest. And then there's only a little bit that goes towards principal, and you'll notice that the longer you have the mortgage, eventually, the majority of the payment is actually going towards reducing principal. Well, I calculate every month for all 360 months of owning this property what that number is, because on average, the property that we bought, the principal reduction equates to about 5% on the ROI. Someday we're gonna sell this house, and when we do, we'll have made 5% on the money. What you would have gotten on a 401k and IRA, you're gonna match that just alone in the fact that you had someone in that home that was paying it off. Pretty cool, right?
Cha-ching, for sure.
Question for you, do you feel that you're paying too much in taxes?
Always.
Most people feel this way, and this is the third reason for buying the right kind of real estate. It's that you get this cool thing called depreciation and tax savings. Now, this might be a new word, it might be a new term, but it's actually easier to understand than you think. Even though houses typically increase in value, the government lets you write them off completely over a period of 27 and a half years. For example, if you purchase a $300,000 house, this means that every year you can write off a 27th of it, which is $10,909 from your rental income. There are also several other tax benefits, such as being able to deduct the interest from your mortgage payments. But here's the thing that I want you to understand. There's no way you're renting out a $300,000 home and collecting a cash flow that is higher than $10,900, which means if you're cash flowing $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, you get to literally write off all of that, and then there's leftover money that goes against your income. So what that means is all the cash flow is tax-free, and the leftover money gets thrown at reducing your ordinary income, so that at the end of the day, you find yourself in a situation like I did. First 7 years of buying real estate, I didn't pay any taxes. And it's because I kept buying so much real estate that I kept depreciating all of it and writing it off, and it meant that I don't actually have to pay anything in taxes. Huge tax breaks. In fact, some of the biggest tax breaks on the planet are reserved for real estate owners. Just another reason to get in the game. Now we're on the fourth and final, and perhaps one of the most important reasons. It's appreciation. Did you know that real estate over time goes up? Zarko, the very first house I ever bought, when it was built in the 50s, it was a tiny little bungalow, not far from the BYU campus where I went to college. That house, it cost $5,000 for someone to build it. I bought that house for over $100,000, and today that home is worth over $200,000. So the problem is that money actually decreases in value with time, and the inverse happens in hard tangible assets like real estate, especially when you hit inflation, which right now is at 8.2%. That means real estate, inversely, while the value of your soft assets like money in a bank account, a 401k, and IRA go down in value, the value of your real estate conversely increases and goes up. And over the last 65 years, it goes up an average of around 4.65%. That number's gone up a lot based on what's happened in the last 2 years, but that's the average. And it basically means, wow, like if I buy a home and just hold it, it's just gonna go up over time. And that's important with what I wanna show you in the total ROI. So, Zarko's got his reasons why he's partnered with me, but these are 4 reasons that I was able to share with him to say, hey, let me share with you what we're really actually doing here. And then if you have the numbers, I'll have you actually reveal the ROI we're getting. But a total ROI on a property as a beginner real estate investor, you need to understand is based off of 4 numbers that I've shared with you. The first one is, what is my net cash flow? So let's just say that I buy a property, and let's just assume for a moment that I'm putting $70,000 down as a down payment. This could come from a 401k, an IRA, equity in another home, savings or whatever. But if I have a $300 a month positive cash flow on that, that's 5% ROI just right there. Now remember, ROI stands for return on investment. So if I put 70 grand in and it gives me $300 back a month, then I'm getting 5% back. And this particular ROI is called a cash on cash ROI. I put 70K cash in and it's giving me a 5% return in the form of cash on that. Then we say, okay, well, tell me about my principal reduction. On this particular house, an average of $250 is basically going into paying down the property. That equates to roughly a 4% ROI. So 5 plus 4, well, now we're at 9%. Now we're competing with the S&P. Except compared to the S&P 500, $1 will buy you $1 worth of stock. Here, $1 will buy you $5 worth of real estate. So it's actually 5 times bigger than that. Then we take a look at the depreciation, and let's just say for a moment that you have $200 of tax savings every single month on this property, and it equates to 3%. Well, you get to add that up, and we were at 9, 5 plus 4, you add 3 to that, now we're at 12. And then we take a look at appreciation. Now this is a range, but let's just say that appreciation was this low end of 15%. And you might say, well, Kris, I thought you said the real estate market only goes up 4.65% every year. In real estate, you get leverage. That means that if I have $10,000 right here, the bank will put up the other $40,000. So I have a 5-to-1 leverage game. And that means that 5%, you multiply that by 5, and that turns into 25%. Well, we were at 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 12, just add 15 more. And 12 plus 15 puts us at a 27%, or on the high side, a 42% ROI. What does that mean? Well, it means that if you were earning, let's just call it on the low end, 27% each year on your money, that means that a single home, this one investment that I put my money into over 20 years can outperform your 401k and stock market 27-1. You can literally walk away with nearly $5 million over 20 years on a single home because of this ROI. Now, how do we do on our home?
The numbers are better than that.
What do you mean?
We're looking at 46%.
Do you know why it's 46%?
Tell me.
Because I'm a freak of nature and no one's better than I am in this game, and that's not ego. That's just proof on the last 6,500 homes. And brother, congratulations for that. How does it make you feel?
Awesome.
Dude, it should.
Millions of dollars right there.
Yes.
In 20 years.
100%. By the way, this is just our first move. Do we have more moves?
Yes, for sure.
Well, listen, you've just been taught the beginning game of real estate. You've been taught 4 different profit centers that equate to earning, for me, a minimum of I have to have a 25% ROI. But now I want to come full circle and find out what's really on your heart on why you decided to do this. So you mentioned something. You were interested in the real estate. You saw how it could make sense for your future, but you really wanted to know more about me. When you came to that event, what did you discover specifically?
I discovered that it's not all about the money. It's all about the quality of life. It's about the person you're becoming and what you will do with that money. So that's what I really loved about you, that it's not just about you, about building wealth for you, your family. It's about helping everyone, become financially free and just doing the things that they love and having an impact on the world, which is, it just touched my heart.
How did spending time with me actually convey that to you though? Like, what did you observe and how did you put that together? I promise you, there's people that are watching us like, oh yeah, Kris Krohn, I see him in front of nice houses all around the world, nice cars. And there's definitely a lot of people that are like, oh, Kris, one of those real estate douchebag people that just makes a lot of money and he's living it up and he's probably just has his heart completely centered on money. What helped you arrive at that, opinion?
Okay, I'll tell you about my superpower. My superpower is actually reading people. It's seeing through the front. And really getting to the core of what's behind that heart. And what I saw in Kris was someone who's trying to have an impact in the world for those who are less fortunate than we are. And I've seen that with your work in the foundation. I've had a chance to make a donation and have a little impact in that way. But that just let me know that it's about creating wealth for individuals, not for himself, not for his companies, which they're really well off. But it's about allowing people to become financially free so they can bless themselves and go on to bless others, which is important to me.
Well, you've proven one thing. Even though real estate looks like it's about bricks and land, the truth is it's always about people. And you have a story for what you want for your family. And I have a story for what I want for my family and my legacy, what you want for your legacy. And interestingly, what we're doing is we're buying a property. This is the first of many. And what it's going to do is it's going to build wealth, and it's really going to magnify what's on your heart. It's going to magnify where your priorities are. It's going to magnify what's important to you. And that's the beautiful thing, is that there's a lot of people that are involved in this. The people that helped us find the property, the people that helped fix it up, the people that get rented out, the family that lives in it. All of this value gets exchanged. All of this money gets made. But it's never just a game of, well, I want to own real estate. Let's be clear. You've done that. Nobody wants to own real estate. They want the benefits that can come from real estate done right. And brother, I'm excited that you get to play at this really high level. But that's also because of the good man that you are. By the way, it wasn't a small donation. That was a generous donation. That donation is literally saving lives, and that tells me everything I need to know about you. And I'm telling you right now that if you're watching this video and you're like, wow, I would love to get in the game of real estate, but I really don't think I'm going to do it on my own, or maybe you've tried, or maybe you wouldn't even dare. What would you say to someone who's watching this video and just considering, wow, should I really look into clicking that link below and learning about what it could mean to partner with Kris?
What real estate allows you to do is to just work smart. I used to be the guy working 80 to 90 hour weeks, and I came to the point where I realized, okay, I'm working 90-hour weeks to support a family that I never see. What's the point? If I can figure out a way to work smarter and still get to, play with my kids and, win really hard at money, then that's where it needs to be. And real estate is just one of those vehicles. So that's why it's important to me.
Appreciate it, brother. I'm proud of you, and I'm excited for our future.
Me too. Thank you.
Would you like to learn how to invest in real estate with a pro? Now, what Zarko said in the beginning is he gives up 50% of everything to give up 100% of all the work. But the reality is the ROIs that we're getting are so high that actually you're far better off with a pro than actually keeping 100% of a grape instead of a slice of a very large piece of watermelon. So if you want to crush the game of real estate, and if you want to just skip the whole learning curve and start literally at the top, where you can be part of my $3 billion in real estate that I'm transacting 6,500 homes later, click the link below, and on that link you'll get some information about what partnering is, and you'll get a chance to decide if it's for you. If it is, fill out the link, talk to my team, and let's just see if we might be suited for that next partnership.
Okay, so economy. Are you worried at all about the recession?
Oh man, recessions get me so excited. The last one we had was 2008, and it was literally the best thing that happened for real estate. Don't get me wrong, everyone said it was the worst time to be in the game of real estate, but when I helped my investors clear over $100 million in gains in just the first 5 years, that's when I knew. Recessions are when real estate peaks at its highest level of profitability, and make no mistake, that's where we're at right now. That's why I'm glad we've gotten started. And if you want to learn more about why investing in a recession in the game of real estate makes all the sense in the world, click here, watch this video, and I'll show you.